Wife said she was working late. I followed her and caught her sneaking into a hotel room with another man. You won't believe what I found on her iPad. NSFW texts, plus spicy pics inside. Part 2, cracks in the mask, more signs. So after the whole "you're being insecure" routine, I tried to back off. Give her space. Maybe I was being needy. But the signs just kept piling up, and at some point I couldn't keep gaslighting myself. She started wearing perfume again, like specific perfume she used to reserve for date nights or special occasions. I noticed it on her after nights she claimed to be at the gym or grabbing drinks with coworkers. I'd ask who she went with and she'd get vague. Just some people from accounting, or you wouldn't know them. She also changed her phone passcode. That was new. We'd always been open about that stuff. She used to ask me to grab her phone and reply to texts for her. Now it was glued to her side 24/7 like it was a bomb she couldn't let go of. I tried brushing it off again. Maybe I was just paranoid. We've all heard those stories where the guy accuses his girl of cheating and she's actually just planning a surprise party or dealing with a dying relative. I didn't want to be that guy. But then one night, around 2 a.m. I woke up and she wasn't in bed. I found her downstairs on the couch, phone in hand, typing away. She didn't hear me at first. I saw her smile at the screen, like a real smile, not the tired, polite one she gives me lately. Then she noticed me and jumped like I caught her committing a felony. She stammered out some excuse about not being able to sleep, just scrolling Instagram. I looked at the screen. She had quickly closed something and Instagram wasn't even open. That was the first time my gut screamed at me. Something was wrong. Really wrong. But I didn't confront her yet. I wanted to be sure. I wanted to catch her in the lie. I know that sounds messed up, but I needed proof. I needed the truth. Part of me still hoped I was wrong. Part 3, the evidence falls into my lap, discovery begins. So, a few days after the late-night couch incident, I did something I never thought I'd do. I snooped. I know. Privacy, boundaries, yada yada. But when your gut is screaming at you every day and your partner is acting like you're insane for noticing anything weird, you start to lose your damn grip on reality. I felt like I had to see what she was hiding. She left her iPad at home one morning. She usually takes it to work, but I guess she was in a rush. It was in the kitchen, unlocked, and synced to her phone. I stared at it for maybe 10 minutes, pacing like a lunatic before I finally opened the Messages app. And there it was. A thread with a guy named D. No last name, no photo, just a letter. Already shady. I opened it and boom, a full conversation thread with more red flags than a bullfighting arena. Flirty texts. Sexual innuendos. Full on "I can't stop thinking about last night and when can I see you again?" type shit. One text actually read, "Don't worry, he's clueless. He still thinks I'm working late, lol." I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. Another one said, "You make me feel alive again. Like I actually matter." And the worst part? The timestamps. She was texting this guy while lying next to me in bed. While watching Netflix with me on the couch. While kissing me goodbye in the morning. I just sat there staring at the screen, shaking. My hands were literally trembling. I felt sick. Betrayal doesn't even begin to describe it. It's like everything that felt safe and familiar just cracked. I took pictures of everything. Screenshots. Backup of the backup. I needed it. For myself. For my sanity. The crazy thing? Part of me still didn't want it to be real. I was still making excuses for her in my head. Maybe it's just flirting. Maybe it hasn't gone physical. But then I scrolled up. There were pictures. Part 4, proof I can't unsee. So yeah, there were pictures. Not just suggestive stuff. I mean full-on explicit shots of both of them. Her in lingerie I've never seen before. Him shirtless in what looked like a hotel room. One photo had her in our bathroom mirror, topless, captioned, "Thinking about last night," winking face. I sat there just staring at it, frozen. That was our bathroom. My toothbrush was in the background. She was sending this guy intimate photos from the space we shared while I was probably downstairs making dinner or walking our dog. That image burned itself into my brain. I don't think I'll ever be able to look at that mirror the same way again. And then the messages got even more real. Coordinating meetups. Talking about how she'd sneak out after I was asleep. Joking about me being a boring husband. That one stung the most. Ugh, he just talks about work and wants to cuddle. I need something real. Like, what? We used to be best friends. Now I'm some background NPC in my own marriage? I scrolled through weeks, maybe months of this shit. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. It was like watching a slow-motion car crash, except I was in the car and didn't know it. Eventually, I had to close the iPad. I was physically shaking. My whole body was cold. I don't even remember the rest of that day. I think I walked the dog for 2 hours just to get away from the house. I didn't cry yet. That would come later. Right now, I just felt numb. Like the world suddenly wasn't real anymore. I was a ghost floating through the wreckage of my own life. But one thing became crystal clear in that moment. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was a full-blown second life she was living behind my back. And I was about to blow it all up. Part 5, the setup. So at this point, I'm sitting on a ticking time bomb of screenshots, texts, and nudes I never asked to see, and all I can think is, how the hell do I even approach this? Do I scream? Do I throw her stuff out the window like in those TikToks? Do I confront her calmly like some enlightened monk? I didn't know. I've never been the yelling type, but I'm also not the type to just let this slide. This was betrayal at the core level, like, soul deep. I spent the whole day going over every conversation we'd had recently. Every time she brushed me off. Every excuse. Every kiss that suddenly felt hollow. I realized she hadn't told me she loved me in over a month. Not once. That used to be our thing, we'd always say it before bed. I stopped noticing when it disappeared. I guess when you're being boiled alive slowly, you don't notice when it gets hot. So I made a plan. I wasn't going to confront her that night, I needed to be ready. I needed her lies to crash into my facts. No way was I going into this emotional. I wanted her words to hang next to the proof. I needed to see what she'd do when she realized I knew everything. I made a folder on my phone. Labeled it car warranty so she wouldn't snoop. I even backed it up to a USB and hid it in my sock drawer just in case things went nuclear and she tried to play dumb or wipe her phone. Then I waited. The next night, she said she was going out for happy hour with Alyssa again. Her go-to cover. I asked if I could come. She literally laughed and said, "Babe, you'd be bored to death. It's all office drama." Then she kissed me on the cheek, grabbed her bag, and left, smelling like that same damn perfume. I waited 10 minutes. Then I got in my car. Part 6, The Follow. So yeah, I followed her. Not my proudest moment, but honestly, I was past pride at that point. I waited a few minutes after she left, then grabbed my keys, threw on a hoodie, and drove like some bootleg private investigator. I kept my headlights off until I got a few blocks away, real Jason Bourne energy, except I was shaking the whole damn time. She said she was going to O'Reilly's, this bar downtown she supposedly always went to with her work crew. So imagine my surprise when she drove right past it. Didn't even slow down. I tailed her for about 20 minutes, thank God for light traffic, and finally, she pulled into the parking lot of a pretty nice hotel. Not 5-star or anything, but definitely not a place for drinks with coworkers. I parked across the street, heart pounding in my ears, and watched as she sat in her car for a minute. Then he showed up. Tall guy. Athletic. Probably mid-30s, beard, sunglasses at night like a total douchebag. He parked next to her, got out, and walked right over to her window. She opened the door and they kissed, like kiss-kissed, not a cheek peck, not a friend hug. Hands involved. Like they couldn't wait to get upstairs. I was frozen. Just watching it. Like my eyes wouldn't even blink. Then they walked in together, laughing. Her hand was on his back like they were on vacation. Like she hadn't just lied to my face less than an hour ago. I didn't follow them inside. I didn't need to. I sat there in the car for what felt like an hour. I think I whispered I knew it to myself like 100 times. There's something soul-shattering about watching the truth happen in real time. It makes your chest cave in a little. Eventually, I drove home. I didn't even text her. I wanted to see what she'd say when she walked back through the door and tried to sell me another bedtime story. Spoiler, she did not disappoint. Part 7, The Lies Keep Coming, confrontation begins. She walked in around midnight. Hair slightly messed up. Lipstick faded. Smelling like sex and that godforsaken perfume. She tried to tiptoe in quietly, probably thinking I'd be asleep. But I was sitting on the couch, lights off, just waiting. Like a cliché out of a movie. She jumped when she saw me. "Oh, hey, you're still up?" I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at her. Let the silence hang. She got fidgety fast. "I thought you'd be knocked out by now." Happy hour went way longer than I thought. Alyssa was going through it, poor thing. I swear to God, she had the audacity to smile. Like she really thought I was buying that steaming pile of garbage. So I asked, super calm, "How's Alyssa doing?" She blinked. "What?" "Alyssa," I repeated, keeping my voice even. "You were with her, right?" "Yeah. I told you. She's dealing with some drama at work, so we got a few drinks and vented." "Why?" I just nodded, pulled out my phone, and said, "That's weird because I followed you tonight." Boom. Color drained from her face like someone hit the emergency eject button on her soul. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. "You, what?" "I followed you. Watched you meet up with him. Watched you go into that hotel. Watched you kiss him like you forgot you were married. So I'll ask again, how's Alyssa doing?" She went dead quiet. Then after a few seconds she laughed. I kid you not, this woman laughed. "Wow. So you're spying on me now? That's real healthy." I couldn't believe it. She got defensive. Like I was the villain here. "Don't turn this around," I said, still trying to stay calm, but I could feel the heat crawling up my neck. "I've seen the texts. The photos. I know everything, T." And then came the excuses. Oh God, the excuses. It didn't mean anything. I was just lonely. "You've been so distant lately." It wasn't even serious. He was a distraction. "It's not what you think." I was going to end it. Every cliché in the book, like she Googled how to bullshit your way through getting caught cheating. She finally landed on, "It just happened." I didn't plan for this. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "You planned hotel rooms. You planned fake stories. You planned a whole second life. That shut her up. She stood there with her arms crossed like she was the one who'd been wronged. Like I was the bad guy for having the nerve to catch her. And in that moment it hit me. She wasn't sorry. She was sorry she got caught. Part 8, the mask comes off, full confrontation. After I said that you're only sorry you got caught, she just stood there, arms folded, like she was weighing her next move. Like she was negotiating a business deal, not standing in the rubble of our marriage. Then she had the nerve to go, well, what do you want me to say, huh? You've been emotionally unavailable for months. You think I cheated for fun? I stared at her in disbelief. She was seriously trying to blame me. Like she cheated because I didn't bring her flowers every Tuesday or something. Unreal. Oh, so this is my fault now? I asked, voice shaking more from disbelief than anger. You could have said something. You could have talked to me. But instead, you chose to sneak around, to lie, to make me feel crazy for noticing. Do you even hear yourself? She rolled her eyes, actually rolled her eyes, and said, Jesus, you're so dramatic. It's not like I fell in love with the guy. That right there? That broke something in me. You didn't fall in love, I repeated, almost laughing. Cool. That makes the naked pics and hotel meetups so much better. Thank you for the clarification. She snapped then finally. Fine. You want the truth? It was fun. He made me feel wanted and I liked it. You've been a boring husband for a long time and I got sick of waiting for you to be exciting again. There it was. No more lies. No more fake remorse. Just raw, selfish honesty. I sat back on the couch, completely hollowed out. Like all the fight drained out of me at once. I wasn't even angry anymore, I was just done. I asked her straight up, how long has this been going on? She looked at the floor. Since November. That was 5 months ago. 5 months of lying. 5 months of smiling at me across the dinner table like nothing was wrong. 5 months of kissing me goodbye while texting another man right outside our front door. I stood up, walked past her to the bedroom and said, you're sleeping on the couch. Don't talk to me. She scoffed like I was being unreasonable. Really? You're going to act like this? I turned and just said, you don't live here anymore. You just don't know it yet. Then I shut the door behind me. I sat on the edge of our bed, stared at the wall, and finally cried like a damn child. Silent, ugly sobs into my palms. It was the first time I'd let it hit me, what she'd done, what we'd lost, how stupid I felt. And beneath the heartbreak, the humiliation, the anger, there was one overwhelming truth. She never even hesitated. Part 9, the aftermath, 24 hours of silence and fury. The next day was like waking up in someone else's life. You know that fog you get after a nightmare? That weird, did that really happen, haze? Yeah. Except this wasn't a dream. It was my actual marriage in 1,000 burning pieces. She was already gone when I got up. Took the dog for a walk, apparently. Left a passive-aggressive sticky note on the counter, didn't sleep well. Needed space. As if I was the one who betrayed her. She still hadn't said sorry. Not once. I sat at the kitchen table just, numb. Couldn't eat. Couldn't think straight. Just kept rereading her texts on my phone like some kind of masochist. I don't know why, I guess part of me needed to make sure I wasn't imagining it. That I hadn't hallucinated all of it. But nope. It was still there. All of it. She came back around noon, sunglasses on, looking like she had zero intention of talking. I didn't say a word. She grabbed a La Croix, scrolled through her phone on the couch, and acted like we weren't in DEFCON 1 mode. Then she finally said, so what now? I wanted to scream. What now? That's your opening line after setting fire to our whole life? So I told her, calm as I could, you need to leave. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. She scoffed. You're overreacting. Wrong answer. I pulled up the photos again, laid my phone face up on the coffee table, and said, if I sent these to your parents, your boss, your precious work friends, would I still be overreacting? Her whole face changed. Eyes wide. Jaw clenched. Are you threatening me? No. I'm reminding you what I know. And what I'm capable of. I've kept quiet, respectful even while you were screwing around behind my back. But if you keep testing me, I'll make sure the whole world sees the real you. Silence. Then she mumbled, you wouldn't. I just said, try me. She stormed upstairs and slammed the bedroom door. Like a teenager grounded for the weekend. I sat there shaking, not from fear, but from adrenaline. I was done being the nice guy. Done being the fool. That night, she slept in the guest room. No words. No apology. No tears. Nothing. Just silence and doors between us. Funny how someone can burn down your life and still act like they're the victim. Part 10, decision time. The silence between us wasn't just awkward, it was radioactive. The kind of tension that makes the air heavy like you're breathing in guilt and lies instead of oxygen. She tiptoed around the house for the next couple of days, avoiding eye contact like I was going to explode at any moment. Truth is, I was past exploding. Rage had already flared and died. What was left was colder. Clearer. I was in decision mode now. I started taking steps quietly. Logged into our joint bank account, took screenshots of everything. Opened a new checking account in just my name. Called a lawyer. Didn't tell her. I wasn't sure yet if I wanted a divorce, but I knew I needed options. I wasn't going to stay stuck in this twisted limbo while she played the let's pretend it didn't happen game. I wasn't sleeping, wasn't eating much, but I had clarity like never before. And then she tried to pivot. One night, she knocked on the bedroom door, knocked like a guest in a hotel. "Can we talk?" she asked. I let her in. She sat on the edge of the bed like she was rehearsing a monologue, and I swear to God, the first thing out of her mouth was, "I don't want this to ruin us." I laughed. Actually laughed. Because what was left to ruin? She kept going. "I messed up. I know I did. I felt ignored, I made bad choices, but I still love you. I don't want to throw this away." It was the most half-assed apology I've ever heard. Like she was reading it off a script she didn't write. No tears. No emotion. Just hollow words, hoping I'd bite. I looked her in the eye and asked, "Do you even feel bad about what you did? Like actually bad, or are you just scared now that you might lose the safety net?" And she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything. That silence told me everything I needed to know. She wasn't sorry. She was just scared of the consequences. That was the moment I knew. There's no coming back from this. Part 11. Pulling the plug. So yeah, after that conversation, if you can even call it that, I knew what I had to do. No more waiting, no more hoping she'd suddenly have a revelation and become the woman I married again. That person? She's gone. And maybe she's been gone for a long time and I was just too in love or too blind to see it. The next morning, I called my lawyer back and said 2 words I never thought I'd say. "Let's proceed." I asked him to draft divorce papers. Clean break. I wasn't interested in dragging things out. We don't have kids, which again, thank God. The dog's staying with me. She cheated, she moves out, that was my line. I waited until the end of the day when she came home from running errands, which I'm 99% sure just means avoiding reality. I sat her down in the living room and handed her the papers. She stared at them for a full minute like they were written in another language. "I thought you were thinking about it," she said. I replied. "And then I thought about everything you did. Every lie you told. Every time you kissed me goodnight while planning to meet him the next day. And I realized, I'm not staying married to a stranger who disrespected me for months." She started crying then. First time she showed any real emotion. Not when I confronted her. Not when I caught her lying. But now when the consequences were real and the safety net was gone. "I can't believe you're just giving up on us," she whispered. And that made me snap a little. "I gave up? You checked out months ago, T. You just didn't expect me to wake up and walk away." She cried. Begged. Said she'd go to therapy, quit her job, block him, anything. But it was all too late. That ship didn't just sail, it got hit by a torpedo and sank weeks ago. I told her she had a week to figure out where to go. She could stay in the guest room until then. After that, I wanted her out. It's wild. Just a few weeks ago, I would have done anything to save this marriage. Yeah? I just wanted peace. I wanted her gone so I could start breathing again. Part 12, Ghost Town. After handing her the divorce papers, the house turned into a ghost town. Not literally, but emotionally, it felt hollow. Quiet. Cold. Like 2 strangers just happening to exist under the same roof. We barely spoke. She stopped pretending after that. No more fake smiles. No more morning small talk. She'd come in from work, avoid eye contact, make herself dinner, and vanish into the guest room. Honestly? Fine by me. I slept like crap every night. My brain wouldn't shut off. I kept looping every fight we didn't have, every time I should have spoken up, every little off moment I brushed aside. Hindsight really is a cruel bastard. You start to see it all with razor clarity, the lies, the changes, the things you chalked up to stress or work or bad moods. And then came the texts. From her. In the same house. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I wish you'd talk to me. I feel like you've already moved on. You're acting like I'm a monster." She'd text me from the next room instead of saying it to my face. I didn't respond. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because nothing I'd say would matter. She didn't want honesty, she wanted relief. From her guilt. From the reality she built and then shattered. And I wasn't giving her that. Then for days after I handed her the papers, I came home to find her gone. Like, gone. No goodbye. No confrontation. No last attempt to fix things. Just a half-empty closet and a note on the counter. "I'm sorry. I'll always love you in my own way. Please take care of the dog." She couldn't even say it to my face. That was the last time I saw her in person. No lie, I stood there for a long time holding that stupid note and I felt nothing. No rage. No grief. No relief. Just exhaustion. I sat down on the couch, looked around, and finally breathed. She was gone. And for the first time in months, the silence didn't feel suffocating. It felt like peace. Part 13, Picking Up the Pieces. The first week after she left was weirdly quiet. Not just the kind of quiet where the TV's off and the dog's snoring soul quiet. Like the tension that had been coiled up inside this house finally slipped out with her last suitcase. I kept waiting to break down. I thought there'd be the cinematic meltdown, me on the floor sobbing into the dog's fur, questioning everything. But it didn't happen like that. Instead, I did dishes. I took the dog on longer walks. I cleaned out the bedroom closet, dumped all the stuff she left behind into boxes labeled T. I played music again. Music I liked, not the sad indie stuff she used to blast while pretending to be deep. I even started cooking real meals instead of just eating chips out of the bag like a goblin. It wasn't all victories though. Some nights I'd find myself scrolling back through old photos. Birthdays. Trips. Little selfies we took on the couch just because. I looked at my own face in those pictures and saw a version of me I barely recognized, happy, trusting, unaware. That part hurt. It still does. There was this one picture from a cabin trip 2 years ago. I was holding her hand, grinning like a fool, and she was looking at me like I'd hung the moon. Now I wonder if it was already fading for her. If I was the only one still in it while she was already halfway out the door. I talked to a therapist, first time ever. Felt kind of weird at first, like I was whining. But man, unloading all that stuff to someone who wasn't emotionally invested? Game changer. He said something that stuck with me. She didn't cheat because of you. She cheated because of her. And that hit hard. I kept thinking I could have done more. Been more fun. More spontaneous. Less routine. But the truth is, if someone's gonna betray you, they'll always find a reason. Even if you're doing everything right. So no, I'm not blaming myself anymore. She made her choice. And now I'm making mine. Part 14, moving on, for real this time. So here's the weird part they don't tell you about getting cheated on. After all the rage, the pain, the overthinking, the begging for closure spiral, you wake up one day and realize, you're just done. I hit that point about 3 weeks after she left. Not because something dramatic happened. Not because I got some grand apology or epiphany. Just, one morning, I made my coffee, sat on the porch with the dog, and realized I hadn't thought about her once the entire day before. That was it. No mental replays. No imagining what she's doing, who she's texting. No checking her socials. Yeah, I blocked all of it. She became this vague background blur in my life. Like someone I used to know but wouldn't recognize in a crowd now. I finalized the paperwork with my lawyer. Sent it to her. She signed and returned it with zero drama. Which surprised me. Maybe even she knew there was no saving face anymore. That was the last bit of official business between us. No big blowout. No tearful last phone call. Just a quiet, digital death of what used to be us. And honestly, that was exactly what I needed. I started getting me back. The real me. I reconnected with some old friends she never liked. Surprise. She didn't like a lot of people. Hit the gym again. Not to get revenge hot. But just because moving my body helped more than sitting in the dark feeling sorry for myself. I even took a weekend trip solo. Just me, a cabin, some beer, and the dog. And it was the best I'd felt in a long, long time. I'm not gonna lie and say I'm 100% healed. Some nights still suck. Trust doesn't snap back overnight. But the difference now, I'm not stuck. I'm not trying to fix something broken by someone else's choices. I'm moving forward, and I'm never looking back. Part 15. Final reflection, what I learned, and what I tell you. So here we are. The end of it. 6 years of marriage, gone in a few months of lies. One day I was picking up dinner for the woman I loved, and the next I was staring at screenshots of her in lingerie meant for someone else. Life shifts fast, man. But here's the thing I've realized. After all the crying, the yelling, the silent staring at ceilings in the middle of the night, her betrayal didn't define me. What I did after, that's who I am. People always say, once a cheater, always a cheater. Or you should have seen the signs. Maybe, maybe not. But it's not about spotting the red flags. Sometimes you do and you just don't want to believe them. Especially when it's someone you've built your whole damn life around. What I've learned is this. Love without boundaries is self-destruction. I gave her chance after chance to be honest, to be better, to care. And she spat on every one of them. Gut feelings? Don't ignore them. I felt something was wrong months ago. I let her gaslight me out of my own instincts. Never again. You can be the best partner in the world, and they'll still betray you if that's who they are. Cheating is a choice, not an accident, not a mistake. A choice they made every day. Peace is better than pretending. I'd rather be alone in a quiet room than sleep next to someone I can't trust. If you're reading this and you feel that gnawing doubt in your gut, like your partner isn't being real with you, don't ignore it. Pay attention. Ask hard questions. And if the answers don't sit right, listen to that. And don't be afraid to walk away. People will say marriage is work, but they forget. It's supposed to be a partnership, not a prison sentence. I'm not healed yet, but I'm healing. I'm not whole yet, but I'm rebuilding. And next time, I'll love smarter. I'll protect my peace. And I'll never, ever settle for less than I give. Thanks for reading, Reddit. This community kept me sane when my world flipped upside down. Stay strong out there.